Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Preston here, and this is my preview and prediction. Yeah, sorry. I'm just outside in my backyard and shit, right next to a freeway, and shit like that. But basically, this is my preview and prediction for Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder versus Tyrell Herndon. Hold on. Yeah, this is my preview and prediction for Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder versus Tyrell Herndon, and Tyrell Anthony Herndon, and shit like that. I ain't gonna lie though, bro. Like, there's not really anything for me to say, cause overall and shit like that, I don't want Deontay to lose this fight, and I especially don't want him to lose to somebody who has that many losses, and shit like that, I'm gonna be very heartbroken for Deontay Wilder, and shit like that. But if Deontay at least shows who Deontay at least is, and shit like that, where every fight he shows who he is, everybody at least has to be careful of how they face against his power, and shit like that, but it's just overall his power isn't just as much anymore though. I just feel like, I just feel like he needs to find different ways. Like, either way, if you got power like that, no matter what, you can still have that. It's just, he needs to find ways of how he can do it, because he's like, what, like 40 something, Deontay Wilder, and shit like that, so he got to do something. But overall, Deontay should be able to knock this dude out, and it shouldn't be able to take him that long until he could be able to get this dude out of there, and shit like that, because it's just this is a good fight for Deontay to at least win. He needs to get these kind of fights and win again and shit like that, if he still wants to box, because he still is fighting, man. He still wants to fight, and shit like that, you feel me? So it's like Deontay gotta, he gotta fucking, do his thing, man. He gotta, I feel like the biggest thing of what Deontay needs to do and shit like that is let his hands go. I feel like he doesn't like to let his hands go. It's like, but the thing is with Deontay is that he's not very strong of a fighter. Like, he has incredibly of amount of power, but he's not very strong fit like himself, like he gets bullied a lot from a lot of, shit, he got bullied by Joseph Parker. I know Parker has great boxing skill, and shit like that, but it's just, he got Parker showed that he was more stronger than Deontay, and shit like that, so you can press Deontay, and shit like that, so that's the thing, man, and shit like that. But it's just I just feel like he gotta let his hands go. He just gotta fight little nigga style, and shit like that, where it's just he gotta fight like he's the smaller fighter. Just fight wild, throw your hands wild. It doesn't matter how you connect, and shit like that. He just needs to learn how to not get knocked out, but he just needs to learn how to throw his hands. He didn't enough with that single punching shit anymore. That shit is over now. People are figured that shit out now, and shit like that. You need to make your own technique where that shit ain't gonna get figured out, and shit like that. People is gonna have to deal with it and figure out ways how they can just still win, not fully figure you out, from your skill set, And that's the thing with Deontay Wilder, and shit like that. It's just he needs to be able to do that, and shit like that. Be able to fight like that, fight with more aggression. Deontay never ever fought with much aggression, and it's just even when he was good, it just I mean, overall and shit like that, when he was more in his prime and shit like that, I wasn't really as analytical with boxing as I am now. I still was, but it's just more of I just thought at the time, as a little kid, I just thought his power was just unstoppable, which it was. It literally was. But if it was now, if I was questioning it now to back in the day, I would have still questioned his skill set, where it's just he needs to be able to be more offensively sound, and more of a safe fighter. I feel like he fights very reckless and just very dumb, and shit like that. It's like the only thing that he's kind of like smart on is getting that perfect shot with that right hand, and shit like that. Like that ain't gonna happen no more, because now, and shit like that, people are gonna find ways where they could just easily close that gap where you can't do anything, and then they can handle your own shot, your own punch, and shit like that. But the thing is with Deontay, he's quick as fuck with his punches, so that's why I question, like, why the fuck does he not want to like throw his punches? Like, I know you get tired, but it's just, if you want to get tired, like, it's just like I said, I don't know if I said this before in my videos, he needs to retire, and shit like that, if he wants to do that shit. If you want to keep on fighting, which he's doing, you need to fight, man. You need to actually, like, let your fucking hands go. It's like it's almost like he's now just playing that Adrian Broner scheme, but he's getting stopped, and shit, which honestly, now it's like he's getting the more worst of it, even though, like, we all know Deontay has shown a lot more things and has proved a lot more than Adrian Broner. But I'm just saying, skill-wise and shit like that, Broner still knows how to not get knocked out, and he still knows how to at least throw and counter, and shit like that and all that. Even if Wilder was like Adrian Broner, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know my boxing, dog. Like, literally, like, all these boxing fanatics and shit that's watching this, I bet you know what I'm talking about, and shit like that, But what was I saying though and shit like that? Hold up. Like, even if he fought like a Broner style, like that's what I'm saying. Like even if he fought a Broner style, like a young Adrian Broner style, letting his fucking hands go, because he can't, because Wilder, I feel like Wilder doesn't really get credit for his speed, because he can throw, because he's fast, and shit like that. It's like that's how he was able to catch Tyson Fury multiple times and shit like that. Overall, like, this is my true opinion. I thought he knocked out Tyson Fury, in the first fight. I feel like that ref was counting like he was high as shit before he even like refed, and shit like that. He's just as high as I am, but I still would have counted faster than his ass. Literally, that was a very slow count. That was like a 20 count. But I'm just saying, I just had to get that out the way, and shit like that. That was rigged. But like, even me now, but I could realize that shit was a rigged fight, even though Fury, and I would say Fury was winning and shit like that, and Deontay got lucky as shit with that knockdown at the end. Because if it wasn't for that knockdown, I will say Fury would have definitely won that fight, and shit like that. Fury outboxed him. Like, it's just like he landed through the more punches, and shit like that, did everything. He looked like just a better fighter in that fight, and shit like that, but it just, but when Deontay knocked him down, like, honestly, if a ref seen how laid out fucking Tyson Fury was, there's a lot of refs that would have not fucking counted. Like, this dude literally counted until 10. Like, he was on the ground, out, unconscious, literally fucking unconscious. And I still feel like Tyson Fury has brain damage from that shit till this day, and shit like that, literally, and shit like that. It's like, that's the thing, man, and shit like that. I remember that shit, and stuff like that. It's like, that was like that was a beautiful fucking punch by Deontay, and stuff like that, and it just, that ref was counting like for way too fucking long, man. Way too long. Like, honestly, if you would have seen how he was and shit like that, how he was just like, man, like, a lot of refs would have just waved that shit off, bro. Like, literally. But anyways, in this fight, and shit like that, Deontay got to just, like, again, just let his hands go, man. He got to let his hands go, because overall, like, Deontay, like, he also needs to be more poised too. Know how to take punches, be patient, land those single punches, and shit like that. Because the one thing, Deontay also needs to be careful, because also, like, you can't take so many heavyweight shots, because like we know, he'll get either dropped or hurt really bad, or he'll get knocked out, and shit like that, and that's the thing with Deontay, and shit like that, so he does need to have that poise, but he gotta let his fucking hands go. Like, literally, like, it's just like, I'm just saying, it's just, Deontay is just way too patient, and it's like he fights scary. Like, he fights scary. Like, he needs to not fight scary. I know in this fight, he ain't gonna fight scary at all. You know, I don't really think he really needs to do all of this to really win this fight. But I'm just saying, like, you know, in other fights, he needs to fucking do this shit, you know, and shit like that, where it's like, he needs to, like, cause, like, imagine if Deontay's just flailing his fist around, landing every single punch, like, literally, like, I don't think it's gonna take, like, 5 punches until Deontay's gonna finally knock somebody out, you know, and shit like that, you know, like, literally, like, especially when it's, like, when they're getting, like, lured into his shots, you know, and shit like that, you know, like, most likely, they're gonna run into one shot and get knocked the fuck out, you know, and shit like that. Like, Deontay's just, like, he's too just into that single right hand. Like, I know that right hand is I have never seen a boxer have that good of just a single knockout right hand till this day. Like, literally, like, I'm just saying, like, nobody just has done it like Deontay. Like, ended fights so early because of that single punch, you know, and shit like that, you know. And that's the thing, bro. It's like, oh man, it's just like, I'm excited to watch this, but it's just more of like, it's just Deontay needs to show me something, dude. Like, and because a lot of people are just like, oh, Deontay's this, Deontay's that. Like, you can't just like unless if he just wants to fight like old Deontay and shit like that, you know. Like, what was the point of being 40-something and 0 and 40-something and 0? Like, literally, like, you were undefeated. Now you want to just like get all these losses, you know, and shit like that out of nowhere. Like, all those losses, he could have won that shit. Like, literally, bro. Like, you're like he could have won those fights, you know, and shit like that. You know, it's just he didn't want it. It's like he allowed just the more just poised boxer that has more just natural skill to beat him. When you got a right hand like that, it don't matter, dude. Like, literally, like, it don't matter. Like, it don't matter how much poisonous somebody got. At the end of the day, if you have knocked that many people out, have laid out Tyson Fury like 5 times, like, actually almost like 10 times throughout, like, your guy, or I would say about 5 times throughout your guys' fights. Like, literally, and I'm just saying, you, like, Deontay was, because before that fight, Tyson Fury honestly had a pretty good chin, you know, and shit like that, you know, like, he was able to take punches, you know, and shit like that, you know, but, like, he's still a little suspect, but he was able to take punches. When he fought Deontay, this dude got dropped by Francis Ngannou. Like, I know Ngannou got power like that. Like, I know he got power, but let's look at this. Anthony Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou with no problems. Like, literally. Tyson Fury didn't do that shit at all. Not one time. Like, literally. Like, he didn't even drop Francis Ngannou. Once he got dropped, he fought scary. Like, he didn't know, like, literally. Like, that one time, it's just like, I'm just saying, dude, it's almost like both Deontay and Tyson Fury have flashbacks. It's like once Wilder fights somebody with skill, he folds. When Tyson Fury fights somebody with serious power, you know, and shit like that, you know, he gets hurt or he gets dropped or then he gets knocked out. You're like, you know, we never seen that. I mean, we only seen it against Alexander Usyk. But I'm just saying, though, you feel me? You know, and shit like that, you know, so, hold on, let me pull my pants up real quick. You know, and shit like that. You know, I'm sagging like crazy. But I'm just saying, though, man. You know, shit, it's just, you know, Deontay can do this, man. I mean, this fight, obviously. But he could really bring his career back with some good wins if he can just try harder. Like, literally. Like, that's just with me. Like, I know boxing is boxing, man. You know, and shit like that, you know. And... you know, and I'm just saying, and I'm about to, like, you know, be getting in the sparring ring so I can be able to feel those punches. But overall and shit like that, you know, it's just like, I can just, like, I've been watching boxing for a while. I've been in fights before. I felt shots, you know, and shit like that, you know. It doesn't, like, realistically and shit like that, you know, like, people, like, as a fighter, you should have a mindset where it's just, like, at the end of the day, if you get knocked out, you get knocked out. Because, like, when you're throwing punches and shit like that, you know, it's like, that's the thing, you know, and shit like that. Like, not everybody's Floyd Mayweather, you know, and shit like that, where it's like, no matter what you do, you can avoid anything with whatever you want to. It doesn't matter, you know, and shit like that, you know, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, literally, like, but Deontay, you're not Floyd. Not even close to Floyd Mayweather. Like, not even related, not even fucking... I'm just saying, bro. You know, and shit like that. Two different types of styles. Even with heavyweight, two different types of styles. Like, literally. And I'm just saying, he's kind of, but he's fighting like that. He's fighting really defensive. Like, I know you want to protect that chin, but it's just, bro, like, you have so many people that just, like, look up to you, bro. Like, I fucking looked up to Deontay Wilder, bro. Literally, and everybody else. Like, a lot of people has looked up to Deontay Wilder, you know, because literally, like, I'm just saying, it was a crazy time of when he would just knock people the fuck out. Like, I am just saying, and it just, I miss those days, you know, and shit like that. It's just like, and it just is, but I know he still got it, you know, and shit like that, you know. It's like, I know he still got it, man, you know, like I know he's like 40-something years old, you know, and shit like that, but literally, man, like, it just, I know he got it. I just, something tells me that he still got it. And it's just like, and it's just, he doesn't want to show it. It's like, if he shows something, like, literally, like, if you lose fights because of it, okay, cool. But at least you will show that literally you're not a buster. Like, literally, or you're not a bum, I mean, you know, excuse me, you know, and shit like that, you know. But I'm just saying, you know, it's like, I'm just saying, bro, it's just like, I just really cannot wait for this fight, you know, and shit like that, you know, and it's this week, you know, and stuff like that, you know, it's on the Zone, but then I think it's promoted by, I forgot what that freaking promotion was called, but it's not Matchroom or any of those big promotions, you know, and shit like that, you know. Let me go look it up for y'all. Okay, Prime, that Deontay's gonna be having his fight on, you know, and shit like that, you know. And overall and shit like that, I'm gonna just end the video like this and shit. There's no really need for me to have a full prediction, but I mean, of course, you know, obviously, you know, I'm going for Deontay Wilder. You know, I mean, like, I really, like, I mean, to be honest with you, it's like, you know, he should be able to get this dude out of here in the first round, you know, and shit like that, you know, or pretty early. Like, this shouldn't matter of what you know, Deontay's problem. Either way, Deontay's power is still live and live enough to knock out somebody like Tyrell Herndon any time of the day of any round. I mean, of what he wants to knock him out in, you know, and shit like that, you know. So yeah, man. You know, my prediction is Deontay better win this fucking fight with an early knockout. Or I don't know what to say no more. You know, and shit like that, you know. But thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston. Peace out, man. Yes, and remember that the BLK Prime, if you guys don't know, the BLK Prime is gonna be on the Zone. You know, so yeah, go on the Zone, you know, and shit, you know, and then you'll get the fight from there, you know, and shit like that, you know, unless if there's, you know, but, you know, get the fight from there, you know, and shit like that. That's the way of what I know and shit like that, is to get the fight from the Zone to get to BLK Prime, you know, and shit like that. You know, I don't even know how much the fight is, you know, and shit like that, you know, but that's the thing though, bro, you know, and shit like that, you know, but again, thank y'all for watching this video. Peace out, man. Love y'all.